When the N64 games get added to Nintendo Switch Online, the game I made a beeline for was Operation Winback. Well, no, that's a lie, actually, because I started my millionth playthrough of Ocarina of Time because of course I did. But just second to that, I played Operation Winback. It's a game I know well on both PS2 and N64, and I was happy to see that its unique style of cover shooting still felt fresh and exciting after so many years of samey cover shooters filling the shelves. It got me thinking about all those other action games of the era and all their various solutions to translating exciting duck and cover shootouts from Hollywood movies to video games, and I realised that the big game that I missed back in the day was Headhunter on the Dreamcast. I read about this game in loads of magazines back then. It seemed like such a massive deal with graphics that looked incredible. For some reason though, it just passed me by. Probably because Sega's house was on fire after the failure of the Dreamcast. First things first, this game is a looker, even today. There's something immediately and endlessly appealing about those chunky Dreamcast visuals. Ignore the fact that Jack Wade scoots around like he's holding one in for dear life. That's really the only black mark here. Every environment is full of detail, and even when you're hearing about the city on your motorbike, there's still that feeling that you're playing a quality, polished game on your lovely, lovely Dreamcast. The main thing you do as Headhunter Jack Wade is hunt heads, with your gun in third person shooting that's straight out of an 80s action movie. There are no crazy acrobatics, no post-Matrix kung fu, it's just Jack sitting his arse against the wall, popping out to let a few rounds off, reloading, rolling forward and doing it all over again. If you're stealthy you can snap a few necks, but where's the fun in that? The real fun comes when you get your higher licenses and unlock the shotgun. That thing packs a punch. Getting these licenses requires cutting about LA on your motorbike as fast as possible without crashing. It's a nice wee break from the shooting, and while it seems a bit basic today that you can't do anything in the city apart from drive from point A to point B, you have to remember this is a game from before GTA 3 changed the landscape for open worlds. Also, there's something to be said for a game doing one thing well instead of getting bogged down giving you a million distractions dotted around a big map. No, you're Jack Wade, and when you're not shooting your gun, you're riding your bike. Nothing else matters. It really does feel like you're an 80s action star. Carrying on the 80s theme is a world and setting that's heavily inspired by Robocop. It's not just the bizarro world military industrial complex stuff going on, but these little news broadcasts which pepper the game throughout. They're brilliantly made and home to some of the most outrageous laughs that the game gets.
Good news is the public's the winner. Loses organs going for transplant.
That's right. I'll bet there's a few people would like one of Jack Wade's organs inside them, eh, Kate?
Paul Verhoeven might have phoned his lawyers if Headhunter sold more than 2 copies. It's a shame this game never really hit the big time because there's a lot to love here. Each level is like a little resi mansion, asking you to really learn your way around and poke at the edges, finding keys and solving puzzles. It never once feels like a mindless shooting gallery, and there are only a couple of times that the game ever feels like a chore, both on disc 2. The main thing that holds it all together is a really tight, arcadey feel that not many games have nowadays. The bike doesn't let you fall off, but it's still a tough and rewarding thing to master. The shooting is a great example of why I tend to prefer good lock-on systems to manual aiming. It all just works, and I'm glad I finally gave it a shot. Headhunter's legacy is a short, sad one. It had one sequel and then the devs disbanded. I'm not really sure what they worked on afterwards, but I'm glad that they brought Headhunter to the Dreamcast. It's a proper Hollywood-style action game, and a great showcase for one of my favourite consoles.